Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check another builds and tips for VR, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So today we're gonna be checking how to use Ragnarok on VR. So Ragnarok is a really good character, and she's excellent for most VRs. If I'm not mistaken, Worm Knight, Worm Knight is still immune to debuffs for a certain amount of time. So she won't be as effective against Worm Knight. So keep that in mind. But everyone else, she should be able to decimate. So we're gonna be fighting against Queen Kanaloa. This I'm gonna show you two runs. Hopefully, if everything goes right. One at 61 and the other one at 201. Just so that you see how disgustingly good this is. So obviously, we're gonna be using Ragnarok. And something noteworthy is that I'm not using my usual leader skill. Here I'm using Making a Splash, which increases damage dealt by demon type characters by 16%, and it also increases my critical rate, but the critical rate doesn't matter. It's the 16% damage increase that really matters. You can put any damage increase here. I usually use, where is it? This one, the name of Fuma, which is going to increase damage dealt with normal attacks to enemies with debuffs, but also reduces damage taken from bosses. When you use Ragnarok, she is so oppressive with her freezing that the enemy is going to be constantly stunned-ish because of the freezing effect. So you don't need to play defensively. You can go full offensive and that's it. So what am I using here? Fantasma 87 with Golden Sphere. Nice to have, but not necessary. Remember that. It's particularly nice against enemies with mobs. And this enemy, Queen Kanaloa, has mobs. So yeah, that's why I'm using this one. But if you use anything else, it's also fine. I'm using Anti-Demon Wind Magatemas, whatever Magatema, whatever weapon, whatever Magatemas on the sub-slot. Then both 5 out of 5 and plus 15. For skills, Clinging Nightmare, the weapon enhances this, but as I mentioned, doesn't matter. As long as you're able to deal with the mobs, it's gonna be pretty good. Succubus Whisper to deal damage and buff the party, pretty useful. If you want Fantasma to deal damage by herself, you can change this for Twister Dance. And Slash Horror to be next to the enemy, because that way we're gonna take advantage of our leader skill. For supporters, I am using Misaki to increase damage, Nano to increase damage, and the Ragnarok supporter to constantly freeze the enemy and increase my damage by a little bit. Like, honestly, it's not that much damage increase with the supporter. Is more the freezing capabilities that matter. If you don't have this, put like anything at all. You can put Mitsuki, you can put who else is good that you could use? I'm checking. You could use Nanao-ish. Like, depends if you're removing the buffs of Queen Kanaloa or not. You can use Ingrid on the main if you want, because that's going to increase your damage. Even though you don't take advantage of the critical damage increase, you take advantage of the damage reduction. So that's something to keep in mind. Stats of the customs, stat training, and now let's go to Spinel. As you can see, Spinel has damage, and there's a reason for that. So I'm going to use Wicked Start Canna Blade, of course, with Water and Ice Magatemas, whatever weapon on the subslot, whatever Magatemas, and both 5 out of 5 plus 15, Let's see. Demonic Arm Detonate, Piercing Thirst, and Crystal Shard Burst. All so that Spinel is able to deal massive amount of damage. I have over here Onigumo with Kana and Kurenai, Massacre Kurenai. Massacre Kurenai allows us to heal, it gives damage reduction, it gives a hefty attack buff with the active. It is really, really good. And you can also use, in case you don't have this gacha supporter, you can use Arabella. If I can find Arabella, I don't see... over here. You can use Arabella, that's another option. Who else? You can use Kirara. You can use Sakuya if you need more defense, that's fine. You can go with Heviko, so there's options. Stats of the customs, stats of the stat training, and now Ragnarok. So Ragnarok, I am using the pack weapon, and I gotta admit, this is pretty good for BR, and it's also pretty good for PvP. Not as good for what's the name? Total War. And it's, I mean, if you have enough damage, you don't actually take that much advantage of the effect on normal content, because on normal content you just decimate everything before you even use Deep Freeze, so it doesn't really matter. So, is this weapon worth it? Only if you're a what's the name? VR enthusiast. And remember, you would have to use 4 Demonites. So yeah, that's expensive. Really, really expensive. It is pretty well-ish, but I usually get the Demonite packs on the renewals, and I usually save them. That's why I could do this, but... anyways, let's continue. So, this one is using Fire Anti-Demon. Whatever weapon, whatever Magatemes. 5 out of 5 plus 16. This one 4 out of 5 plus 15. For 4 skills. For skills we have Snowstorm, Icicle Zone, and Frost Wind. I think this is kind of the best thing that you can do when you don't decimate the enemy. Having 2 sources of freeze is really useful. And unfortunately you cannot use Absolute Zero because it's on the same command as a Snowstorm. So, I have Fantasma. Core Fantasma is super, super important because that's a way to get rid of the invincibility from Queen Kanaloa, but you can change it depending on the VR boss you're facing. Misaki and Saeka. Again, use whatever you have that helps you out. She's assist, so she can use, again, Mitsuki. This one is for machine and human. No. I mean, it's a little bit more difficult because she shares the same recommendations as Fantasma. So yeah, stats of the customs, stat training, and as you may have noticed, I don't have a healer. In fact, I don't have that much healing capabilities. She has sustained with Massacre Kunai, and she can help out the party, but every once in a while only, with Misaki. But it doesn't matter because that's the thing with Fantasma. You're gonna have so much control over the enemy that you don't need to heal yourself. You don't need to bring a healer. It's nice to have options. I mean, Spinel's gonna need it. That's why I have that. But this is pretty good, and you're gonna see it. I'm just gonna delete this super quickly. So we just start by using Frostwind. Then I get near the enemy, doing the perfect dodge, and now that everything is done, I just use the active and the stage is done. Yeah. So you may think, what just happened? I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, that I understand. I know, and that's why I'm going to do this on a step 201, which is gonna be similar to what you're gonna experience. The level of difficulty, I mean, if your account is not strong enough. So, even so, you're gonna have such an easy time dealing with the enemy when you're using Ragnarok, because you can use other two dedicated attackers as long as they have a little bit of sustainability within their hit. Like, they don't have healing attacks by themselves. I don't have a healer like Felicia or Lapis, and even so, they are good. Mind you, there's this thing that sometimes Fantasma gets one shot. Let's hope that's not the case. I mean, she is at almost full HP. Let's go full HP, just in case. But yeah, sometimes like I do get one shotted with Fantasma. Let's hope that's not the case right now. Okay, only Ragnarok has the damage reduction. Okay. Oh, what? What? Really? Wait. Am I on the right floor? Usually it takes more. I don't know. Maybe the effects were. Yeah, I'm on the step 201. Probably the effects were on my side this time. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Yeah, but even so, there's 1 out of 3 times it's gonna be pretty difficult, and 2 out of 3 I just decimate the enemy. Not as fast as that. That was extremely fast, but I do decimate the enemy pretty quick. So I do this and stop the enemy. Yeah. Look at the damage, guys. Look at the damage. The thing is, yeah, I'm getting lucky, guys. I'm getting lucky because the enemy is not getting the extra HP, and it also has only basically no damage reduction because I don't have a blue character. So yeah, that's why I just decimated this again. That's the normal speed for me decimating the enemy. But let's do another one. Let's see if I can finish an actually challenging. Okay. Extra HP reduces the damage taken from suppressed type characters, and the other 2 main damage dealer are suppressed type characters. So only Ragnarok is dealing normal damage. So this should be actually a little bit more challenging. Yeah. Also try to position yourself properly so that you can take a. My God! Even so, I'm decimating this. Like, while I was climbing, I have had more challenging runs. For some reason, I'm just fishing the right ones. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is, she's busted, and she allows you to use 2 damage dealers next to her. She's a damage dealer, not the most effective damage dealer, but a pretty good damage dealer. And in VR, she's also kind of a supporter, an offensive supporter, thanks to the freezing effect. So the ability to bring other 2 damage dealers that don't need to be babysitted by a healer is going to allow you to climb up to step 100 pretty easily. If you have had troubles on VR, she is going to be amazing for you. Just remember that she's not going to be effective against Worm Knight. Keep that in mind. Well, that's about it for today, guys. What do you think about Ragnarok? Is she busted or is she busted? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!